Hello, JRPG fans. Welcome. It's 2019, and man, it is going to be a fantastic year for fans of RPGs and JRPGs in particular. Welcome to the JRPG Report. This is episode 48. My name is James Fisher. So good to have you guys along with us, rocking and rolling into this new year. As of recording, today is January the 9th, so we've got a couple of games set to drop on us very soon. We'll talk about those in just a few minutes, but kind of want to talk about some news that's broke since our last podcast. I hope you guys all had a very Merry Christmas and Happy New Year celebrations, and that the new year is treating you well so far. I've been kind of taking a bit of a break since our last podcast, kind of just playing around a few minor games. Didn't want to get into anything too deep, as I am fully ready and waiting for Tales of Vesperia to drop on Friday. If Amazon and my postman do their job, I will have that ready and waiting for me when I get home from work on Friday, and I'm super excited. Even the wife is excited about this one, as there will be times I can, of course, play it on the TV, and we'll get to both watch it in all of its glory. Because, as I mentioned before, I am getting this one on the Switch, so that I can play it both around the house when the TV is being used, and later on at night when we get some adult time later on when the kiddo is asleep. But we'll talk about it and a few other ones that are coming out here in just a little bit. But let's get right into some of the news that's broke since, and it was a whole lot to talk about. But there were a few things that I wanted to kind of pass along your way, and we're going to start off with a series that I've not played any of the previous ones, but this one is starting to get on my radar a little bit more, and that's God Eater 3. They put out the opening movie for it, and I took a look at it, and it kind of looks right up my alley. And this will be news to the ears of my friend Chris, who we worked together along many moons ago, let's put it that way, and that's a series he's really big into, and he's tried to get me into time and time again. And I've got a Vita, so it's not like I didn't want to maybe give it a shot, but this one looks pretty cool. I gotta be honest, it's got a really nice anime style to it, a fast, fluid, over-the-top fighting style, which I really like. And I guess getting the opportunity to play it on my PS4 would probably be more something I'd get into. The Vita pretty much just sits in its case, and not a whole lot of reason to break that out anymore. But this one's going to be getting here pretty soon, on February 8th, for PS4 and the PC. So if you're a bit curious like I was, go check out that movie. I think you'll be impressed. It looks fantastic. So we will wait and see how that one turns out. And not very long, literally a month from now. Again, this is not going to be something I pick up at launch, as I will still be knee-deep in Kingdom Hearts 3. But this could be a great one to pick up in a few months, when things are a little bit slower, perhaps. We'll talk about let's talk about two games that are actually coming to the Switch that I didn't think were going to, but I certainly would have to say it's good news. The first one is a game you've probably heard me talk about previously. That's was one of my excuse me, one of my I wouldn't say favorites, but it's definitely one of more the ones I enjoyed back on PS3. It re-released on PS4 last year. I picked it up and played it again and thoroughly loved it. And now it's coming to the Switch, and that's Dragon's Dogma Dark Arisen. Capcom has announced that it is coming to the Switch worldwide on April the 23rd, and it will only be $29.99. This Switch version does include the ability to share your pawns online, and membership is not required, of course, to do that. So that's pretty cool. Of course, this one came back, was originally released back in 2013, and it's got all the DLC included in this one. There's a launch trailer out for it. I mean, if I had to guess, it's probably going to look more like PS3 than PS4 on the Switch. I mean, let's just be frank, the Switch is not quite as powerful as either Xbox One or PS4, but it will still probably look pretty good. And of course, being able to play on the go is nice. And at that price, at $29.99, you can't really fault it too much. This one kind of came out of left field. I didn't expect it. I would have expected it back when it was remastered and released on PS4. So this one kind of came a little bit later. I guess they've been working on it for a while. And again, that one's April 23rd of this year. The other one, and I guess we knew this was going to happen, but we finally have some information about it. Dragon Quest XI, they're calling this one Dragon Quest XI S, I guess, for Switch. It is set for a Japanese release. So I guess about 2 weeks ago at the Jump Festa, they kind of made this announcement. There's a launch trailer for it, and it purely just says it's coming to Japan in 2019 for the Switch. It'll have some voice acting. That's pretty cool. I don't know about this one. Of course, we never got the 3DS release of Dragon Quest XI. It has sold well on PS4 here. I think I'd be a little surprised if this one actually does get ported over, but it may. And if it does, that's certainly a good thing. Dragon Quest has now a very rich history with Nintendo. And it's been a long time since it's been on a actual home console for Nintendo. And I think this could, if you ask me today one way or another, I guess I would lean that it's not coming this way. But let's hope that it does. I don't see a need. There's nothing really. There is one thing that they've added to it, but it is a minor spoiler, so I don't want to necessarily say what it is on the Switch version. So at the present time, I don't really see a what's the word for it? An incentive to pick this game up again, at least at launch. Let's say it does come to the Switch, and a year later, if they put it on sale for $30, then you might be able to twist my arm into picking it back up and playing through it again. But having put 100 hours into the PS4 version, I can't see me doing that right away. But it would certainly get a lot of attention. Hopefully, it would sell well. We'll see how it sells in Japan after how well it's sold on PS4. I guess that'll be the biggest thing is they'll look at sales numbers and determine if it's worth going through all that effort to port it over. But definitely good news. I mean, you can't fault them for doing that. It's just a matter of, it's been a while since the game was released. I kind of didn't think it was going to happen. But it was definitely a good thing. So, do have, at least, not a major release, but a game that did get the old dreaded delay announcement, and that was RPG Maker MV. So I still haven't quite figured out what the MV stands for. Maybe you guys could help me out on that one, because of course if you do Roman numerals, That's what, 1,005. So not quite sure what that was, but it was supposed to come out in late February, and now this is never good when you've got a loose window in a 2-week period, and they just push it back to say, well, it's coming out in 2019. That is a long delay potential period. And of course, they had a typical press release with, it's not ready in its current state. We want to give you the best possible game, blah, blah, blah. Thank you for your patience, understanding. Keep in mind, this game actually came out originally on PC in 2015. The Japanese console version came out in November of 2018. This game has been out for quite a while, and they're having, I guess, some issues that, from what I understand, it's pretty ambitious. The characters actually have voices, and there's music with vocals. So they're trying to push a lot into this game, and maybe that's just they can't quite get it all to perform correctly. This has come out on PS4, Xbox One, and Switch. Games created on the Switch and Xbox One can be shared between each other. That's pretty cool. I don't know how that'll work exactly, but definitely a cool thing. So yeah, push back a little bit. Those that may have been looking forward to that one are going to have to wait. Well, could be a while. I'll keep you guys updated once I get a more concrete time frame. A game I kind of got put on my radar here lately, and I think I talked about it momentarily a time or two before. There's another Switch game, and it is The Grand Legacy Tale of the Fate Mounds. And this one's getting close. It is going to come out on the Nintendo eShop January 24th. Well, they've got the year wrong in this article, but just a couple of weeks away, and it'll only be $19.99. And this game, if you recall, it came out in early 2018 on the PC, and it's a throwback-inspired RPG of the PlayStation era. There's full 3D models set against 2D backdrops, classic turn-based combat and tactical warfare scenarios. It'll also come out. Now, see, this kind of backwards. That we've got a firm release date for the Switch, January 24th. It's also coming out on PS4 and Xbox One later. Usually not that way. Not sure why necessarily the delay on the other consoles. Maybe they're trying to get the resolution up to match the systems. But at $20 for an e-game on my Switch that could take anywhere, I don't know if it has the recruitment, but it does kind of sound like Suikoden. And that's a plus for sure. At least that's what it kind of reminded me of when I first started reading about it and seeing a little bit on it. Again, not a game I'll pick up day one per se, but definitely one that is on my radar. And when the Switch becomes more available and there's nothing being played on at the time, I don't have any RPGs in my life, this would be a great one. It may even, you could catch it on sale one week for $10 or $15. That'd be a great deal. But one I wanted to let you guys know about that I'm looking forward to, and that was The Grand Legacy Tale of the Fate Mounds. Don't have to wait long. Be available on the eShop for the Switch January 24th. There were some new details dropped about the new Ys 9 title from Nihon Falcom. Not a whole lot, but definitely confirmed that Adol is the main character again, that the development on the game is right around that 50% mark, so they've still got a little ways to go. Currently being developed for PS4 and will release sometime this year in Japan in 2019. looking good. I mean, it looks like they'll actually take advantage of the system's capabilities this time. I wasn't real impressed with 8 and the way it looked overall. But maybe this one will finally take advantage of the hardware that it's on and look pretty good. But just kind of not a whole lot out there on this one, as like I said, it's still pretty early in development. Chronologically, it does take place after he's 7. So it makes it the latest title chronologically in the series. So that's about all we know about that one. Typical that the players can climb onto and move over rooftops, and there are areas as grasslands, forests, and ruins on its outskirts. What sounds like just about any good RPG. So yeah, I'll give you guys some more updates on that one, including hopefully a Western release. Maybe we'll get that announcement sometime later in the year. And the biggest announcement, the announcement of an announcement, and we know literally nothing about this game or what it's going to be, but Atlas has officially teased P5R, an upcoming project related to Persona 5. There's a teaser website that's out there for it, and that basically just announces that there will be more details released in March of 2019. And that's literally all we know about it. That there is something out there. Could this be kind of a Persona 4 Golden type thing? I guess that's plausible. Could it be a Switch title? I certainly think that's possible, given the fact that they put Joker in Super Smash Brothers. Could it be DLC? That would be nice. I've been thinking about Persona here lately, as I've been got a few of the figures at Christmas, and it's one of those ones like, man, has it really been that long since I played Persona 5? And yeah, when I beat Persona 5, I was done with it. It was 120 hours at least, if I recall, maybe even more. I'd put time into that one. I was ready to take a break, but it's been certainly long enough. And maybe by March we'll know a little bit more about what this is. And the only thing I know for certain is it's not another dancing game, right? I love Persona, but I don't understand the dancing rhythm games. I don't get it. So we will keep you guys updated about what exactly P5R is and what it can be, and hopefully it is yet another reason to dive back in to that world with Joker and all his friends, the Phantom Thieves. So, got a couple games coming out. I don't recall a January that had this many games that I was looking forward to, let alone JRPGs. It's just kind of crazy. I mean, you typically, you've got those games that come out before Christmas to get all those sales, and then you got to wait a couple months before anything comes out. And this year's not that at all. We know about the big ones, Tales of Vesperia and Kingdom Hearts 3. But, like I mentioned, the Grand Legacy coming out on the 24th. Fairy Fencer F coming for the Switch on the 17th. My Time at Portia on the 15th. That's on PC. Mario and Luigi, Bowser's Inside Story on the 11th as well. And a game that I loved back in the day that's not a JRPG, but it's certainly set in Japan, Onimusha Warlords, coming out on the 15th. I mean, that's a lot of games, and that's just in the RPG, quote-unquote RPG. That still does kind of bug me, how so many games are labeled as RPGs. This is like, I was looking through the PlayStation Store when what still got all those titles on sale from the holiday sale, and you can filter them by genre. So you do that for RPG, and it's like it's got 88, games that are classified as RPGs. Maybe three-quarters of them are, half are real RPGs in my opinion. Just because it's got RPG elements in it does not make it a role-playing game. You guys know this. I'm just kind of preaching to the choir. I understand. But what was really funny was a game I need to go ahead and put down the $15 for it. The sequel to Rainbow Moon, Rainbow Skies, got put on sale. And I waited a long time for this game, so I really am looking forward to it. I'm not going to play it now, but I need to go ahead and buy it while it's on sale. That is as RPG as it can get. Rainbow Moon falls in that genre, and, when I searched for it, there it was. Rainbow Skies did not. I had to search for it by title in order to find it. So it's like, even games that are tried and true RPGs don't meet Sony's criteria. That may be more on the publisher for not classifying it correctly or putting in the right meta words. I know how all that stuff goes. But huge month. Lots of good stuff coming out. And RP Gamer, that's where I get a lot of my source. At least that certainly did for this month. It was full of good stuff. They had a great poll, and while it was only 518 votes, they asked, what early 2019 release are you looking forward to the most? And we had games like Anthem, with the new Atrian Odyssey, Death End Request. That's another one I'm looking forward to. That one looks pretty cool. God Eater 3, Kingdom Hearts 3, Mario & Luigi, Naoki and the Legendary Alchemist, another one I'm looking forward to. Tales of Vesperia, Division 2, Yokai Watch 3, a bunch of titles in here. And so, just off the bat, you would probably assume people are going to go crazy for Anthem. People are going to go crazy for Kingdom Hearts 3. And those were two of the top vote getters for sure. There was an other option also that got 10%. So, but Kingdom Hearts 25% of the votes, getting 30%, and the number one answer was Tales of Vesperia. I thought that was kind of interesting, and it gives me just a great deal of my heart swelled up. It made it feel pretty good that I'm not the only one that's just crazy excited for this game. I know there's a ton of people who played this game on the 360 and are extremely looking forward to playing it again in its best form, its prettiest form. But I'm sure there's a bunch of people like myself that didn't play it back in the day, have been waiting a long time as a Tales fan to play this game. One of the last games in the quote-unquote classic Tales style. And while I loved Vesperia and some of the later titles, this is where they made their bread and butter, and this was what I'm looking forward to extremely. And man, just a couple more days. Don't have to wait long. I will try to do a podcast here in a couple weeks, let you guys know what I think about it. We've got a while before Kingdom Hearts 3, 20 days. So yeah, I'll definitely do a podcast before Kingdom Hearts drops, and let you guys know how great Tales is and how much I'm in love and blah 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 blah, all that fun stuff. Did have a great Christmas myself. I think I mentioned that I got Kingdom Hearts 3 and Tales as, pieces of paper gifts of, hey, we got this for you. It'll be here soon. Funny story, I added some things on Amazon, kind of just, and this is what our family does. I don't know what your family does, but it's so easy for us to share Amazon lists with everybody and be like, hey, we'd really like to get this, or especially for our 5-year-old, hey, there's a bunch of stuff that she would like. If you get something on this list, you'll make her happy. And same thing with us. So I kind of added a few things to it that just to flesh it out and give some cheaper options. Not everybody wants to get you a $60 game. Of course not. And I'd put an item on there, and I guess thinking it was something else and not realizing what it was. But it was a Persona 4. I don't know what I thought it was of Persona 4, but I put it on my list. And so my brother and his fiance got it for me, and I kind of unwrap it. I was like, oh, cool, Persona 4. That's it. I was like, but they're looking right at me, and I must have had this look on my face of, what is this? And they're like, you put it on your list. I was like, I did? Oh, okay. And then I kind of looked at it some more and opened it up, and it was like a laptop case, a carry bag, and which I've got a really good one, but this is really cool. And it was one of those moments, like, I felt awful for not even remembering that I put it on my list, but I was super thankful, and I super love it. Excuse me, even if it didn't have Persona 4 on the outside, it'd be a great laptop case. But the fact that it's got that on there just kind of shows my nerdy to the whole world, and I can proudly display my JRPG love to everybody and have weird people look at it and be like, what's that? But that's good times. Sega recently put out, all I can find so far is 3 figures from Persona 5. They did Joker, and they did the prison twins, Caroline and Justine. And I wouldn't say they were like as detailed as some of the ones. They're certainly not as much as the super expensive line that's come out so far for Persona 5. But I mean, let's be fair. I'm not paying $100 for an action figure. My wife would literally divorce me, and I would have nothing I could argue with in front of the judge. I mean, that's just ridiculous, right? That's a lot of money for an action figure. But these were in that $20, $25, $30 price range. I think I got all of them for around $25, and they're very, very detailed, very close to some of the Persona 4 ones that came out. Maybe not quite there, but pretty close. And at this time, that's, it's really the best you can get. The Joker one leaves a little bit to be desired, kind of in the face region, because it's his classroom uniform. I think if they would have done his Phantom Thieves uniform, they could have obviously had the mask on there. It wouldn't have needed to be as detailed. But it's still very good. It was only $25. So I'm pretty happy with that. And the twins are awesome. They kind of nailed them. And they come on like a half base each, so you can kind of slide them together and they can stand beside of each other. Really cool. The only thing is, they're probably the right size. Joker is maybe like half an inch taller, and he's like super thinner than they are. So they look like giant twin. They look full grown, basically. And Joker looks like some skinny high school kid. So standing beside each other, they look odd when, of course, that they were, basically, I don't know, children, but, tweens or teens, however old they were in the game. Half the size, half as tall as Joker was. But their pictures they're just huge, and they're very humorous beside each other, but I love them. And I ended up getting Joker and one of the twins for Christmas, and got a gift card, and ended up ordering the other one. And I think that was, sorry, I'm looking back over my shoulder to at my case to see if that is I believe that was all the JRPG goodies that I got. Actually, at Christmas, and of course, I got my games coming here shortly as other gifts. But I hope you had a great Christmas and holiday season, like I said, and we will talk some more here in a few weeks. But we'll go ahead and wrap up episode 48 of the JRPG Report. I didn't have any messages come in via Facebook or any voicemails. But of course, if you guys want, and it would be really cool, download the Anchor app, and obviously then you will favorite your favorite podcast ever, the JRPG Report, and you can send me a voicemail, and I will put it on the show and try to answer it. I think that would be a very, very cool thing. One more thing I want to talk about. Yeah, so my friend Hans kind of brought this to my attention, and it was a sad loss for kind of the gaming community in general, not a person, but we lost Prima Games. Back in November, they announced they were going to be shutting down, and I think here in a couple months it'll be all well and done. And that they did not produce games per se, but they've been doing strategy guides for a long time, back to 1990, and it was them and Brady Games were the two biggest ones. Back in 2015, they absorbed Brady Games in a buyout, and I would say 90% of my strategy guides are either Prima or Brady, including some great JRPG guides. And if you've noticed the past couple of years even, they haven't been making those. I think the last strategy guide I got was for Zodiac Age. And that'll be the last one. I dare say this is a medium that, since, in the rise of the internet and online strategy guides has made that kind of them a little antiquated, but they still had a role. And, I don't know how many I've got. At least 50 guides over here, at least. They were kind of a collector's item for me, too. And you can't replace a strategy guide. We lost instruction booklets a while back, where we're losing strategy guides now, and I don't know if that's a good thing. And of course the price of these things didn't help anything. Like, I remember, you've got special edition strategy guides that were coming out for $50, like for Final Fantasy X-2, stuff like that. And collectors like me gladly plop that down. But looking back, that probably was the beginning of the end. Just they're pieces of paper when we come down to it. And in some ways, you kind of wonder how charging what they did, how they went out. But if somebody can go online and figure out the answer to their question for free, why would they pay $30 for a guide that they've now got to find a place to put on their shelf? So it's definitely a sad day. I've really there's been a couple of games here lately. I think, like, I've got Tales of Xilia's 1. I've got its strategy guide, but they never made one for 2. Xenoblade Chronicles 2 surely could have used a strategy guide. Excuse me. I've got, this collection of Final Fantasy strategy guides all the way back to the first one that Nintendo Power put out. That's done. And yes, the Final Fantasy IX strategy guide was a worthless piece of paper that made you go online when the internet wasn't really all that popular. But, I can look back with fondness and laugh about that now. But that's a thing in the past. So, really hated to see that happen. It was kind of an inevitability. But yeah, sad to see Prima Games go. Indeed, but I do thank Hans for bringing that up to me, and I've been meaning to talk about that for the past two ones. I kept forgetting, but don't forget, you can also go on to the JRPG Facebook page, and if you prefer, you can leave a question or comment there. My friends Dalton and Jeff and Hans and a bunch of other cool people are over there, and they voice their opinions, and we share comments and all kinds of fun stuff. So check it out. Give us a like on there, and post your JRPG thoughts, pictures, whatever floats your boat on there. As long as they're related to JRPGs, it's cool with me. Till next time, James Fisher signing off for the JRPG Report. This has been episode 48. Until next time, guys, get back out there and level up.